Diddy really screwed up, and I'm not referring to his criminal trial, which has him sitting in prison right now, but it has to do with something that happened right before he got arrested. If you've seen the Netflix documentary about Diddy, Diddy The Reckoning, which 50 Cent produced, there's some footage there that had never been seen before. This is a photographer that Diddy hired to follow him around and document his life.
They once worked together a long time ago. They're not friends now. They don't like each other. And yeah, 50 has taken every shot, especially when Diddy has been down.
They say history's written by the winners, right? Well, this time, the winner ain't just rewriting it. He's torching the whole story right in front of us. The man who built an empire, who spent 2 decades proving he was untouchable, is now watching his legacy crumble in real time. And this isn't some rap beef. It's a full-blown financial execution. But here's the twist. These aren't diss tracks flying around, they're lawsuits, leaked footage, and a Netflix documentary that's flipped the whole narrative upside down. And guess what? The one pulling the strings isn't even hiding. He's out here posting receipts, laughing about it like it's all part of the plan. It's wild. And on the other side, for the first time ever, Jay-Z's got nothing to say. Silence. Because when your name's mixed up in legal filings, when the people you once did business with are behind bars, and when your own investors start throwing out questions they've never dared to ask before, no PR spin in the world can clean that up. This isn't about hits or charts anymore. It's about survival in the cold light of power, money, and truth. Right now, things are looking rough, real rough. Jay-Z's empire, once built like a fortress, is starting to crack from every angle. And all those cracks point straight to one bombshell claim. He wasn't just Diddy's friend, he was his accomplice. And guess who's standing in the shadows holding the detonator? 50 Cent. The new documentary, Sean Combs' The Reckoning, didn't just expose Diddy's alleged crimes, it dragged Jay right into the center of the storm, whether he liked it or not. Insiders say there's footage so wild it could end careers. Not rumors, not whispers, real visual evidence. Clips that reportedly show Jay-Z at those secretive gatherings where Diddy's downfall supposedly began. And the timing? Too perfect to ignore. Diddy gets arrested in September 2024, and by December, boom, Jay's name pops up in the same lawsuit. Coincidence? 50 Cent doesn't buy it for a second. He's next. Insiders quote him saying, and Forbes sources claim major investors are bailing out fast. These aren't just a few nervous phone calls, it's a mass exit. The kind that happens when millionaires start thinking legal heat is way scarier than any stock crash. Jay's team, they're in panic mode, running damage control like the clock's already out of time. Jay-Z's PR team is working overtime right now, blocking stories, paying off media outlets, and if 50 Cent's claims are true, even trying to dig up dirt on him is payback. But here's the catch. This time, the usual tricks won't work.
And we do have some breaking news that we want to bring to you. It was being reported by TMZ and now Fox News. We are learning that Jay-Z is accused of raping a 13-year-old girl. That is new in the Diddy lawsuit.
When accusations touch on serious federal cases and are backed by a Netflix documentary filled with first-hand accounts, the old bury it and move on strategy falls apart fast. This isn't some gossip column scandal. It's a full-blown financial emergency, and the fire's spreading faster than anyone can contain it. Think about it. Jay-Z built his brand on being untouchable. The mogul, the philanthropist, the man who turned rap into art and business. But 50's documentary paints a different picture. One that puts him deep inside Diddy's infamous world. Right in the mix at those wild LA and Hamptons parties that everyone used to whisper about. And the timing? Man, it's too perfect. Diddy gets indicted, Jay gets hit with a lawsuit, then the documentary drops, and suddenly the spotlight shifts. People aren't just asking what Diddy did, they're asking what Jay knew. Why hasn't he sued for defamation if it's all lies? Why did his team quietly delete that old Instagram post from 2006? And why are his closest allies, like Beyonce's camp, completely silent? That silence isn't just awkward, it's loud. Now rewind to those parties that built Diddy's legacy and, according to legal filings, destroyed more than a few reputations. Those so-called white parties weren't just glamorous get-togethers. They were power moves. Deals were made, careers were launched, and boundaries didn't seem to exist. And Jay-Z? He wasn't some casual guest in the corner. He was part of the scene, front and center, a regular in a world that's now crumbling in the public eye. Photos from back in 2006 show Jay-Z right there, front and center, standing next to the same people who are now caught in the middle of Diddy's legal disaster. Neighbors in Beverly Hills even told the BBC they called the cops after seeing strange scenes. Young guests leaving those parties looking confused, vulnerable, and way too out of place. Some witnesses even said a few didn't seem old enough to be there at all. Now that Diddy's trial is set for May 2025, those infamous parties are being dissected frame by frame, and Jay's name keeps popping up in all the wrong places. And then came the bombshell lawsuit, the one filed in December 2024, accusing both Jay-Z and Diddy of a serious incident that allegedly happened after the MTV Video Music Awards back in 2000. The accuser's attorney, Tony Busby, didn't stop at Diddy. He went straight for Jay too, claiming both men were involved. Jay fired back fast, calling the whole thing ridiculous and accusing Busby of trying to pull a blackmail move. But here's what makes it messy. Busby's not just some small-time lawyer chasing headlines. He's the same powerhouse attorney who's been tearing down Diddy's empire, one lawsuit at a time. He's got more than a dozen cases open and isn't backing off an inch. If even a hint of these allegations holds up, this won't just be a PR nightmare for Jay. It'll be a full-blown legal showdown. The stakes are sky high. And for the first time, the man who once seemed untouchable might be running out of exits. Meanwhile, 50 Cent isn't just sitting back watching this chaos unfold. He's stirring it up. His documentary didn't only expose Diddy, it dragged Jay-Z right into the picture, painting him as someone who stayed quiet and profited from that same shady culture of silence. And the fans? Oh, they're eating it up. Social media's on fire, half defending Jay, half calling him out. And memes of Jay in handcuffs are spreading faster than wildfire. Behind the scenes, investors are sweating bullets, and 50. He's laughing all the way to the bank. For the first time ever, the heat's not on him, it's on Jay. The guy who built his entire image around being untouchable suddenly looks way too touchable. The tables have turned and the internet's watching every second of it. But just when you think it couldn't get any messier, here comes the Super Bowl drama. Remember back in 2022 when 50 Cent flipped the halftime show upside down, literally, hanging like a chandelier during his surprise performance? Turns out, that moment almost didn't happen. Why? Because according to 50, Jay-Z, whose Roc Nation co-produces the halftime show, tried to block him from performing.
So she testified, excuse me, that she was Diddy's ex-assistant. She said he her, fully assaulted her in various ways multiple times. He exacted unbelievable violence against her, threatened her, one point allegedly threatened to take her phone and use anything on the phone against her.
They didn't want me there, 50 said straight up. Word is, Eminem had to threaten to pull out entirely unless 50 was allowed to hit the stage. Talk about power moves and payback colliding in broad daylight. And just like that, the show went on. But that one question never really left people's minds. Why did Jay care so much? If it wasn't about the music, maybe it was about control. Because now, looking back, the pattern's crystal clear. Jay-Z isn't just clashing with 50 Cent. He's battling a growing perception that the squeaky clean mogul act might have been just that, an act. Behind the charity events, the Grammys, and the billionaire image, there might be a darker side he's been hiding for years. And 50? He's not just throwing shade, he's hitting hard. Every meme, every clip from that Netflix documentary, every new legal filing, it all chips away at Jay's empire piece by piece. Because like it or not, in the court of public opinion, Jay-Z's not winning this round. His silence, once seen as power, now looks like panic. But here's the real threat. It's not just about reputation anymore, it's about legal heat. The documentary's already out there for the world to see, lawsuits keep stacking up, and Jay's only public move so far has been one fiery statement calling the claims heinous. But in today's world, silence doesn't save anyone. Not when serious allegations are tied to a federal case, not when your old business partner's already behind bars, and definitely not when 50 Cent's got the receipts and a massive platform to blast them everywhere. This isn't some rap feud gone too far, it's a crisis! And the clock's ticking fast, because one thing's for sure. Diddy's trial kicks off in May, and once that courtroom opens, the spotlight's not stopping at just one name. The documentary's already flipping the script, and Jay-Z's running out of time to steer the story. The real question isn't if more secrets are coming out, it's when. And when they do, will Jay's billion-dollar empire hold up, or will 50 Cent's long game, years in the making, finally bring it all crashing down? The man who once ruled hip-hop like a king is suddenly the one scrambling for defense, while the guy he once tried to bury, he's the one digging, and Jay's the one standing at the edge of the hole, watching it get deeper every single day. The moment 50's documentary dropped, the dominoes started falling, and they're not stopping at Jay-Z.
Tick-tock, tick-tock, the clock is ticking on Diddy, because on Friday he finds out what his sentence is going to be, but today He found out what prosecutors would like that sentence to be, and it is vastly different from what his attorneys have suggested to the judge. Prosecutors want him to do 11 years, just over 11 years.
This isn't just about one artist's reputation anymore. It's about an entire system built on power, money, and silence, finally cracking under its own weight. Every headline, every leaked clip, every investor pulling out, it's all part of a bigger collapse that's shaking the industry from the top down. And that first domino, the Super Bowl. Remember when 50 said Jay tried to block him from the 2022 halftime show? Turns out Eminem had his back all along. Sources close to the production say Jay's team didn't just suggest keeping 50 off the stage, they allegedly threatened to pull Roc Nation's entire NFL partnership if he showed up. That's not beef. That's power warfare. Moves like that make the old school rap battles look like playground arguments. The game's changed, and for once, Jay's not the one holding the winning cards. And here's the kicker. It almost worked. Jay's plan to keep 50 off that stage was airtight until Eminem stepped in and said, "No 50, no me." Just like that, the biggest music stage in the world turned into a power struggle, not about talent, but control. And Jay, he took a major L that day. But what nobody saw coming was that the Super Bowl drama was only the opening act. The real explosion came when 50 started connecting dots between Jay-Z's Grammy success and his marriage to Beyonce. And that's where things got spicy. Check this out. 21 of Jay's 25 Grammys came after 2004, the same year he and Beyonce went public. Coincidence? Maybe. But when you're the most decorated rapper in history and nearly all your wins stack up after linking with the biggest pop icon on earth, people start talking. And 50's not whispering, he's yelling it from the rooftops. His theory? Those Grammys weren't earned, they were negotiated. A package deal, the industry's way of rewarding a power couple that kept the machine running smoothly. Now, to be fair, Jay-Z did win 4 Grammys before Beyonce ever entered the picture, but the numbers don't lie. The moment their brands merged, the trophies started flooding in. And 50's question cuts deep. Was Jay-Z ever truly the best rapper alive, or just the best connected? And just when that theory starts catching fire, here comes the elephant in the room, the Diddy trial. The one thing Jay's team is doing everything they can to sidestep. Because if those court proceedings start pulling his name in deeper, all the Grammys in the world won't be enough to polish the shine back on his legacy. Jay-Z's name just won't stay out of the paperwork. It keeps showing up in court filings, in witness statements, side by side with the same allegations that already landed Diddy behind bars. But here's what's got everyone scratching their heads. Jay's never been called to testify, not once. Legal insiders say that's not because he's irrelevant. It's because he's the one being protected. Think about it. For a case this massive, where every associate is getting grilled, the one person nobody's daring to question just happens to be the one with the most to lose. That's not coincidence. That's power. That's influence working behind the scenes. And right now, it looks like Jay-Z's team is pulling every string possible to keep his name out of that courtroom spotlight. But here's the catch. The longer he stays quiet, the worse it looks. Silence might have worked for him once, but now it's starting to scream guilt. His whole playbook is simple. Deny everything, erase what you can, and if that doesn't work, buy silence. That's the move people keep calling out, and it's catching up fast. Remember that rumor from last month? The one about $20 million in hush money? Still unconfirmed? But ask yourself this. Why would 50's legal team leak something that bold unless there was something behind it? And then there's the digital cleanup operation. Jay's crew wiping old photos, scrubbing any trace of those Diddy parties from his socials. But come on, this is the internet. Nothing ever truly disappears. The receipts always resurface, and when they do, Jay might find out the hard way that no amount of money can delete the past. The receipts don't lie. Archives exist, screenshots are everywhere, and every deleted post just pushes people to dig even harder. And through all this chaos, Beyonce's been quiet. No statements, no posts, no public support. It's like she's standing back, watching which way the storm blows before deciding how loud to clap back. That's not romance, that's strategy. And when things hit crisis level, strategy is just another word for damage control. But here's where the real bloodbath is happening. It's not in the courtroom, it's in the boardroom. Forbes insiders are whispering that Jay-Z could be staring down $1 billion loss to his net worth. And this time, it's not because of bad business deals or shaky markets. It's because major brands are starting to back away. When your name gets tied to federal cases, when your image starts showing up next to handcuffs and viral memes, when your own fans start side-eyeing your legacy, corporate partners don't wait around to hear your side of the story. They don't issue statements, they vanish, quietly, efficiently. And that's exactly what's happening right now. We're not talking about a few panicked phone calls here. This is a corporate exodus. Deals are being frozen, endorsements are under review, and a reputation that took decades to build is unraveling in real time. The empire that once looked bulletproof is suddenly bleeding from the inside. And the silence from Jay and Bey? It's louder than any statement they could ever make. Here's the wildest part. 50 Cent is winning the PR war without even breaking a sweat. The fans are rallying behind him, the memes are merciless, and every time Jay stays silent, it doesn't read like dignity, it looks like guilt. But there's something deeper nobody's really talking about yet. The other footage. Not the Diddy party clips everyone's seen, not the Super Bowl backstage drama. This is something way darker. We're talking about private recordings, the kind that allegedly show Jay-Z in places he's spent 20 years denying he ever set foot in. And these aren't just rumors cooked up by 50's team for shock value. These tapes are the invisible third rail in this whole scandal. The one thing neither camp wants to touch, because even mentioning them could change everything. 50's been teasing it in cryptic captions, now deleted posts, and offhand comments during interviews.
At this point, I would want, why?
Talking about footage they don't want you to see. He's playing chess, not checkers, and every move adds more heat. Meanwhile, Diddy's legal team is fighting hard to bury anything linked to those same recordings, filing motion after motion to keep them out of the courtroom. And Jay, still silent. No denial, no lawsuit, just that eerie, deliberate absence of comment. The kind of silence that feels too polished, too careful, and way too loud. Because if those tapes are real, this isn't just bad PR, it's catastrophic. They wouldn't just dent Jay's image, they'd shatter it completely. And in a world where receipts always resurface, the question isn't if they'll leak, it's when. We're not talking about some blurry security footage or random party photos taken out of context. Nah, these tapes are on a whole different level. Insiders describe them as conversations, raw, unfiltered moments where the masks slip and the truth spills out. The kind of footage that doesn't just implicate people, it exposes them. Imagine what's actually on there. Not the flashy stuff tabloids would chase, but the real conversations, the deals made behind closed doors, the favors swapped, the names dropped when everyone thought the cameras were off. This isn't about gossip, it's about power. These recordings could reveal how the empire was really built, showing that the image of Jay-Z, the mogul, the untouchable businessman, might have been part truth and part carefully constructed illusion. Maybe even a lie so deep it took an entire industry to help keep it alive. That's the kind of revelation that shakes the whole structure from the inside. And here's the cold truth about tapes like these. They never stay buried forever. Not in 2025. Not when every ex-assistant, every bitter collaborator, and every hacker with something to prove knows exactly how valuable this kind of evidence is. In today's world, information is currency. And if those tapes exist, someone's holding the keys to $1 billion secret. And when that kind of leverage hits the open market, even the most powerful names in music can't hide behind silence anymore. 50 Cent's crew isn't just hinting that these tapes exist. They're teasing them like a magician flashing an empty hat before pulling out the rabbit. Every cryptic post, every sly comment, it's all part of the setup. And Jay-Z's response? Pretend the hat never existed in the first place. But here's the problem with that move. When you refuse to deny something, you're not dodging the question. You're confirming that the question matters. And in a scandal this massive, what matters most isn't what you've done. It's what you're hiding. Let's play this out. If those tapes are real, they don't just implicate Jay-Z, they erase him. Not just as a businessman, but as a symbol. The mogul who sold the world on the idea that he was always the smartest man in the room can't survive footage that proves he was just another player caught up in the same game he claimed to be above. The philanthropist, the Grammy legend, the billionaire icon, all of it could crumble if the public gets even a glimpse of who he really was behind those closed doors. The image, the legacy, the myth, it would all collapse in an instant.
Now you take 50, somebody who didn't win diamond, somebody who's still going on tours, somebody who's always been the opposition to Puff. You know, when you seen 50 show those funeral flowers that he got from Diddy, this has been an ongoing thing with them, and it's never gonna stop.
But here's the real twist. What if the tapes aren't real? What if this is just an elaborate mind game from 50's camp? A bluff so slick it's got the whole industry second-guessing itself. Then why is Jay's team acting like they can't breathe? Why the frantic PR cleanup, the deleted posts, the sudden legal warnings to anyone who even mentions the footage? You don't rattle a man like Jay-Z with empty talk, you rattle him with evidence. And the most ironic part, The tapes might not even be the main story anymore. They're the distraction. While the world's busy wondering if they'll ever drop, something bigger might already be moving in the shadows, and Jay's silence might be hiding way more than anyone realizes. Jay-Z's been moving in silence, and not the good kind. Insiders say he's quietly shifting assets, renegotiating contracts, and, according to 3 major industry veterans, preparing for the moment he might have to step back from the spotlight altogether. That's not the behavior of a man who feels untouchable. That's the move of someone who knows the storm's already on its way and he's boarding up every window before it hits. And 50 Cent? He's not just waiting for the rain, he's standing there holding the weather report, watching every move, every headline, every nervous shuffle from Jay's camp like he already knows how the story ends. One thing's crystal clear, somebody's lying. Maybe 50's hyping up rumors just to bury his biggest rival. Maybe Jay's gambling that silence will make the noise fade. Or maybe it's both. 2 masters of manipulation locked in the same high-stakes game where the only rule is simple: don't get caught. But the real chaos sits in the middle. The tapes, the unpredictable wild card neither side seems ready to face head-on. They don't fit the story 50's selling, and they definitely don't fit the one Jay's been protecting. The truth? It's sitting right there in plain sight, buried under deleted posts, hushed legal warnings, and layers of damage control so thick you can smell the panic. And that one unanswered question, the one both sides keep dodging, what's actually on those tapes? Because in a war this messy, it's not about who raps the hardest or who's got the biggest empire. It's about who controls the footage, and whoever holds the tapes controls the truth. And right now, neither of them holds the real power. And that's where the story turns brutal. Let's talk about the money, because that's where it always gets ugly. Jay-Z built his entire legacy on control, on being the chess master with the next move ready, the better deal locked in, the empire no one could touch. But now, that control's slipping right through his hands. The documentary's out, the lawsuits keep stacking up, and the brands that once bragged about partnering with him are quietly cutting ties one by one. And the craziest part? The man holding the match, 50 Cent. He's just getting started. Word is, he's already teasing a second documentary, one that's supposed to dig even deeper into Jay's business world, his hidden partners, his off-the-books deals, and the real reason certain ventures never made it past the negotiation stage. If the first doc shook the walls, the next one could bring the whole mansion crashing down. Meanwhile, Jay-Z's still standing there, watching it all go up in flames with no fire extinguisher in sight. The empire that once looked unbreakable is starting to melt under its own heat. And here's the cold truth. Jay's entire empire was built on 3 pillars: music, money, and image. But when the music's drowned out by scandal, when the money walks out the door, and when the image cracks under pressure, that's not a setback, that's a full-blown collapse. And the wildest twist of all, the man who saw it coming wasn't an insider, a journalist, or a rival exec. It was 50 Cent, the same guy Jay once tried to freeze out, the one he blocked from the Super Bowl, the one he brushed off like a joke. That same guy is the one holding the shovel now while Jay's empire sinks deeper into the ashes. If you made it this far, drop your thoughts in the comments. What do you think really went down? Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more breakdowns just like this. The next chapter's coming, and trust me, it's about to get even wilder.